Let me shorten this up a little bit, y'all. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. The show must go on. Now, this conversation tonight is in essence about, it's not about Charlie Kirk in any way, shape, or form. We are about to see a ton of Charlie Kirk knockoffs. And like I said before, the technical issues, that style of so-called debate is absolutely horrible. It's not actually debate. It is low IQ on both sides. It is somebody talking to someone that they know is less intelligent than them. You can't on one hand say these leftist students have been indoctrinated by the public school system, the government indoctrination camps, leftist propaganda for however many years of high school, and now they're in college, and then you want to go sit down and talk with them. I want to be very clear. This style of so-called debate has absolutely nothing to do with unifying America, educating leftists, letting them know, hey, this is wrong. Here's how they tricked you. Here's this, that, and the third. And so tonight's show is going to go over all of those things. Now, I want to be very, very clear with y'all. If you get your feelings hurt because you associated tonight's conversation like some of the people in my post, my original post is on X this morning, right? I said, going to a school to debate goofy teenagers is far less productive than being involved locally in your organizations or organizing and improving your community. It's far less productive. This was not an attack on Charlie Kirk, and I frankly don't care if it was. I've been very clear about Charlie Kirk's approach, and I'll support that and this type of approach. That's the same thing I said about Crowder. I think it's clownery. I think it's more divisive in nature than helping. So if you got your feelings in a bunch because of the fact that I'm talking about a concept and I said it's less productive than these other ones, that's on you. So if you came in here and you're about to get your feelings hurt because you associated me saying that with him only, you're just the same as these soft-ass leftists who are offended by his bigoted talking points, because I want to touch on that. Anybody that's upset that Charlie Kirk said this and this, that, man, I don't give up. My ancestors and elders dealt with actual racism, actual lynchings, actual whatever. And if you are an immigrant in America, your ancestors or elders, and if you were a poor white, let's be very clear. Don't think that all whites are created equal in the caste system. If you a poor white living in a trailer park, you ain't experiencing certain levels of like upper echelon energy. So if your elders and ancestors came here, you got some sort of foolishness pointed towards you too. And they rumbled through that to improve in life so you would have a better life. So I don't give a damn that Charlie Kirk or Steven Crowder or all of these other about to be copycats that wants to say the most salacious thing. I do not care at all about anything that these people say. They expose themselves as clowns, or at least participating in the clownery, because I don't think somebody participating in all of this clownery, just because you walk into a castle, don't make you a king. It make the castle a circus. Okay? So I'm saying this because I don't want anybody to get it twisted and somehow think that means I'm offended by some things that the goofy statements that have been debunked, that Charlie Kirk has said. I've debunked them for years. I told him that when he was alive. So if you get your feelings hurt, disclaimer, that's completely on you. Okay? Let's get to the video. Had a little bit of a hiccup here. But this video here in of itself, yeah, I got a lot for y'all tonight. First, let's start with this video right here. All right, let's be very clear. I don't agree with this. This is those students knocking down and messing with you guys.
Hey, you can't don't do that. Come on.
Yo. Oh, you better not, Blake. You better not.
Okay.
Bring the sign.
Now, I want to be very clear. These guys with the 45-47 hat showed up to a HBCU to have this conversation, or what they are alleging is the conversation. And these are obviously some goofy teenagers. You can tell by their whole energy that they're like, whatever. Now, they have police presence, police activity, but I want to be very clear. These gentlemen, whoever they are, with the red hats, did not get the same level of approval that the Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA people did, the Steven Crowder. These things take weeks to plan, okay? And they didn't get any of those. They just showed up with a table and said, we're going to have a debate. First of all, that's not what a fucking debate is. But I want to, before I go back to them, this is wrong. I don't believe in touching nobody's property in the sense of, hey, you're an absolute stranger. You have a political view that's different than mine. You touching their signs, you touching that. No, that's 1,000% wrong. I want to get that out of the way so y'all don't think that I'm not being objective. And I really don't care what you think. I'm responsible for what I say and do, though. Okay, I guess that's their goal, to say he had a screwdriver. So what? We don't know what he's in school for. This is the argument. These are the same people that's supposed to be down with the Second Amendment, and they'll say, oh, well, how old was he when he had the gun? So that little ding thing right there was a little goofy. Now, this is them getting heckled as they were getting escorted off of Tennessee State's campus. Right here. Now, I guess that dude right there is secure.
All right, we're going to do like a little end live pregame or postgame situation here. We have 500 people watching.
We got 500 right here watching.
Look. Whoa. This is insane. What the heck?
This is not insane. This is freshmen in college that you went to go antagonize, giving you the energy that you fucking asked for.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you're pretty close. Yeah.
Well, I think the Fearless tour definitely made an impact on HBCU.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw?
All right, y'all got to stop with the marshmallow shit. I'm not saying that it's right to put the sign up to these people's door, but they on the inside like, whoa, they overhyping this.
Put something in our car?
Arrest. They just try to hit the car. My gosh.
I think Horace is still out there trying to make sure the car is safe.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, officers.
Wow. Hey!
Yeah, they threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top.
Oh my God, it's the end of the world. There was a cup on top of my car as I had a police escort out. Oh my goodness. This is a violent attack. Soft shit.
So live. I'm posting this directly after so everyone can see exactly
Holy shit.
oh my gosh.
Turn up the live. We're good.
Alright guys, we are out of here. We'll see you later from the Fearless Tour gang.
Are they going to block me in here now?
I think that might be what they're trying to do.
Okay, you got goofballs.
They're
This guy's a
intentionally blocking
goofball.
us.
They're blocking us. Here comes the cop. I'm not gonna hit now, I guess. We've got more stuff. They're hitting the car.
I thought they wanted us to leave.
They're hitting the car.
No,
We're
they're
trying to
bothering
leave,
you
and they're
because you
telling us to
bothered
leave, and They
them.
don't want us to leave, I guess. Hey! They are still hitting the car.
Bring in the
How is this a university?
I don't even know. I'm gonna fast forward some of this.
She's gonna do this the whole way out of here. Oh, here we go.
Just go
No, please.
direction, David. David, just go straight.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. This was like, if you're tapping in, welcome to the Much Too Race Show. I ain't got no video today. I don't know what's going on. We'll figure it out. Let me see if maybe I can get it. Let me try the video. I don't think I'm getting no video love. Can y'all still hear me? Well, I'm assuming everybody can still hear me. Anyway, guys, listen. This is light. This is you showed up to antagonize. Bookworm has a great question. What makes them antagonizers? Let's go to the picture. Now, this is it real quick. This is that college's statement on the scenario. Tennessee State University. Today, a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice in accordance with university policy. Any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. At all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional manner. I disagree with that. It was not professional, and it was not respectful. That TSA putting a spin on that. Okay? It was goofy teenagers jumping and laughing after you bothered them. But to Bookworm's question, we're going to go to that in a second. The safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. TSU will continue to uphold the university policies and ensure that campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. Now, let me be very clear, y'all. Let's go to the photo. Okay? Because I first was like, I think these guys might have just been getting picked on. But this is what this is actually saying. They showed up with a makeshift situation. DEI should be illegal. Then they put their social media handles on here. Deport all illegals now. Let's talk. Okay? So this is clearly a let me antagonize, let me go to a HBCU situation. Now, here's the big question. You're going to a HBCU to talk about DEI, and you're either too ignorant to understand, or you know this and you're ignoring it. DEI, the majority of benefit of humans in America that have benefited from DEI are white women. That's a fact. That's not me saying it just to sound cool. That's not me spinning it for my argument. Y'all go grok every single thing that I'm talking about. Go do it. So instead of you going to talk to a white university about DEI and deporting all illegals, instead of going to a place to have a banter or build political networks and affiliate with people that are already in alignment with it, or going to the actual source, going to a white university because white women benefit the most from that, you go for the clickbait and go to a HBCU. And you're pretending like it is a good faith conversation. It is not. It's not. Bookworm says college students typically range from 18 to 21. They're adults in the eyes of the government and the banks on the student loans they sign off on. Okay, I didn't say that they weren't adults. I said they're teenagers and stupid. But right now we talk, because the earlier question was, how are they antagonizing? You're going to talk about DEI and to a group of people that are not the main benefactors of DEI. So first of all, your premise is misplaced, or you know that it's misplaced, or you're ignorant. One or the other. If you're ignorant, you're dumb and you shouldn't be there and you look stupid. If you know that that's not the primary benefactor of DEI policies, if that's not the case, these are college students that have jobs that have nothing to do with DEI practices at all. They are college students. They have no significant employment to have a conversation about DEI. They work at Starbucks. So you go there and say, let's talk in an antagonizing way, but then you hide your hands behind that, going to talk to a group that has nothing to do with DEI. They don't make policy, they don't benefit from DEI. Why are you there? You're there because you want to throw on a 45-47 hat at an HBCU and complain to people in an antagonistic way. Because I've seen street interviews where dudes have respectfully walked up to people and said, hey, what black people? and say, hey, man, what you think about immigration? And this dude's in the hood going, man, I'm not with that. My cousin got a construction job and he can't get a gig because of all the illegal immigrants. You could have walked into that space, but no, you wanted to be antagonizing. And the fact that you even equating DEI with black people, as Rob just said, is a part of the incorrect structure from the gate. So again, you're either ignorant or you're 1000% trying to be antagonistic. Then you go somewhere. You don't follow the procedure. These are the same people, same type. And I identify with them because I'm on the right politically. But we have a standard as solutionaries. And the problem is lately, I said this earlier to my man, it seems like the right is now competing. I talked to my man Dev about this. It seems like the right is now competing with the left on who can give me the most goofiest tape. And because we as solutionaries have standards, when you break the standard, we go, that's stupid. That's dumb. That's wrong. We're not doing that. The left has lost, and they gearing up for 2028 on the federal level. They're rebranding, seeming to make more sense. The right is going the exact opposite of what we're supposed to stand for. Just last week, they were calling for cancel culture. Now, when these guys that don't get a permit, since they love the rules so much, they don't get a permit. They were not physically attacked, but their free speech that they were allowed to say or would have been allowed to say if they would have went through the proper channels, just like TPUSA does, but they didn't even do that. They're misplaced at the wrong place. Then these same type of people all last week was talking about, or a few weeks prior, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequences. Now that they have a consequence of, hey, we're going to ask you to leave and you're going to get ridiculed by the students that you came to antagonize, now they crying victim. That is the most marshmallow shit in the world. See, everybody okay with free speech or the standard until they sacred cow gets slaughtered. These students walked up behind them and joked and laughed and made fun of their shoes, and I got video. They did all of this, and now they're trying to claim on the internet they were attacked. It was a race riot. I got that video too. It was a race riot. The blacks, we just watched the video of them just getting clowned and got a few middle fingers put up at them. Because after they came being antagonistic. Everybody's okay with free speech. And they love saying freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequences. Until they get some pushback. Now they want to go play victim. This ain't really about free speech though, y'all. I want to tell y'all tonight, this ain't about free speech, per se. It's about clowns antagonizing other clowns. And those other clowns are usually used to playing the victim. But now when you play the clown with a clown, then the clown gets to be a bully. And then now you play the victim, the first clown set. Y'all went to this campus to antagonize people. Clown shit. You engaged 18, 19, 20-year-old stupid people, dumb, at a state university. Clown. Then you didn't even go through the proper channels to do it to the point where you could actually have a debate or dialogue or back and forth or argument, because it was never about actual dialogue and genuine good faith debate. Clown. So you got one group of clowns antagonizing another group of clowns and then playing the victim afterwards. Under this stupid style of so-called debate that's cheap, corny, overdone, low IQ, low-hanging fruit, less productive than doing actual work. But you antagonize these people, and now you on the internet playing the victim. Man, even in hockey, they're going to give you a penalty for instigating. If you instigate a fight in hockey, okay? In hockey, if you instigate a fight, the ref's going to let you fight it out, and you still going to get in that penalty box for instigating. Cleveland says, talk about the car stopping them from leaving, blocking the road while the kids were hitting their car. Cleveland, you's a fucking moron. You're a fucking moron. He says your us versus them mentality is retarded. I'm the person saying both sides are stupid because they're doing stupid shit. I'm the person saying there's a more productive way to doing it. I haven't said us versus them. Yeah, it's intelligent people against fucking morons like you, Cleveland. It's us all over here as solutionaries against you because you're dumb. So let's go back. Let's go back. The students got in the way, right? Oh, look at this guy. I have multiple degrees. Bill Gates don't got a degree. Most of the politicians and the multimillionaires don't got a degree. Boy, shut your dumb ass up. Shut your dumb ass up. Hey, we might have a block party, solutionaries. Let's line him up. Let's see if we might have to hit him for the block party. Cleveland said, Protocol says, Cleveland, you sound crazy. I wear my MAGA hat at my HBCU and fly my MAGA flag every homecoming. Ain't shit happen. Stop. Exactly. Education don't mean intelligence. But anyway, it is. Everybody in the room, it's us versus Cleveland goofy ass. All right? Moronic. You can call in it. Yeah, you can call in and state your position, Cleveland. I don't know what's up with the, you can. This is a call-in show. But I'll put the link up in a second. But matter of fact, yeah, let's do it. Since Cleveland got so much to say. Bookworm, toss the call-in link up there. So Cleveland, your goofy ass could get chopped up real quick before we move on. Okay? Bill Gates is a murderer. I'm not making a statement saying that Bill Gates is a good guy. It's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about one of the richest men in the world that dropped out of college. That's what I'm saying. Oh, now he at work. I'm at work. I'm at work. I would. I'm at work. Then how you watching it, you goofy motherfucker? Go do something. Let's block his goofy ass. I got to get him out of here. I got to get his goofy ass. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let you stay for a little bit. You've been respectful. You've been somewhat respectful. I think I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on your I'm at work shit. Oh, he was disrespectful. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him. He said, never mind. All right, never mind. All right, cool. I get another outburst from you, Cleveland, your goofy ass. I got to get you out of here. You're looking like I need to stitch you up. You're looking like I need to stitch you up. With your cowardly ass hiding behind your job. I thought you was rich because you had degrees. Your degrees ain't paid for your job. You ain't living. I don't got no degrees. I don't work for nobody but my community. You goofy motherfucker. Multiple degrees, still at a job that you can't even get on the phone at. Shut your dumb ass up. With your degrees. Kanye got a song about you. A skit. I've got degrees. And when I die, can I pass down the degrees to my child? No, but I've got degrees. Your degrees don't mean shit. You got the same degrees that all these stupid teenagers at Tennessee State University got with your dumb ass. You probably got a liberal arts degree. And you $200 million in debt for a degree. You got a receipt. You gave them 200 grand. And then they gave you, no, I'm making fun of you now. Yeah. I want to make fun of you now. Cleveland, I want to pick on you. Until you call in, you coward. You at work. I'm not at work. I'm free. I get to go on lunch break whenever I feel like it. And I'm a high school dropout. I've forgotten more than you will ever know. Matter of fact, Cleveland, what's your girlfriend look like? What's your lady look like? I might send it to a bottomless mimosa brunch. You never know. You never know out here. You never know. My point here, though, y'all, is let's get back to the main topic, because we can't let the goofies. We just chopped them up real quick. Okay? We got to get him out the way. This is what I'm saying to y'all. The back and forth, like some people would think that what me and Cleveland are doing right now is a debate. It is not. You heard him, Chase. You heard Chase King typing like he ain't working. Emmanuel, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, some people on these campuses think that this, what I just did back and forth with Cleveland, they think that this is a debate. It's not. It's a murder. I just slaughtered this dude. It's an argument that I won. Okay? I won simply based on the fact that he can't even get off of his phone to get on YouTube, even though he's on YouTube, because he has a job and his argument is whatever. So I get to make fun of that person. If there's people that like him, they'll say he cooked me, regardless of what actually happened. They'll say, "Oh, you showed it, you showed Maj," and then my side will say, "You showed him." Okay, the trolling situation is what these campus situations are about. It does not advance the cause. I have not convinced Cleveland of anything. I'm not attempting to, right? And his spirit might be actually broken because he's at a job that he can't leave from. And I just be doing whatever I want. I just love working for y'all all day, right? But he won't publicly say, Maj cooked me and I see the error in my ways and Maj is mostly right. Why would I dare? I don't think he would say that. Why? Because it's not a debate. Debates have rules. If you want to go Oxford style debate, they have restrictions. They have a clear winner, me, and a clear loser, Cleveland. Okay? My point in saying this is the reason why these type of on-campus debates don't matter. Now, who benefits from these types of debates, so-called debates? If you have a crew, a camera crew, and if you get amazing clips and then you put them to social media, you can put it out there and look like you actually won because you can edit and in this, and you're only going to post it to the people that already agree with you. That does not get a victory. What needs to happen is the general public needs to have an understanding of, hey, there are people that are more moderate, that are paying attention to certain things, right? And we can reach those people without being inflammatory. When I want to be inflammatory to people and disrespectful, I know how to. Like me calling Cleveland a loser, right? That's me deliberately being antagonizing, right? And then talking about his job because he can't get on the spate. That's me being antagonizing. That does not advance the cause. It is a cheap, low-hanging fruit, same as I'm talking about these debates. But I won't get a penalty for instigating because it's my show. Okay? If you go into a leftist college to antagonize dumb people and you get a dumb person saying something back to you, right? That's the freedom of speech and that's the consequence that comes along with that. So if you don't go to a college to empower, unify, and form the demographic about overreaching government, and if you just went for clicks and you got exactly what you went there for. And the irony is you then turn around and say, let me find it up here. And here's me talking to college students. I'm going to play this in a second at a college. This was at SCU, I think. Okay? But listen to this. This guy says, 15 minutes into tabling our event, this is one of the guys, I guess. For our safety, police asked us to leave. All the footage coming soon. He's a liar. That's not what happened. The police didn't ask them to leave for their safety. That's not what happened. Tennessee State put out a statement. They said, you didn't have a permit. You were doing what you did. We asked you to leave. And the students who were more aggressive and direct, they didn't hit you. They didn't attack you. They didn't do none of that. They did make fun of your security guard. Now, do I condone this? No, because I'm not a moron. There's plenty of other productive things to do. I'm not a moron. I don't condone this. But in reality, they made fun of them and they made fun of him, his security. He's horrible security for real, because why he let them circle him and flank him like that is a whole nother conversation. He needs to sign up for our understanding him in a threat course. Okay? But there was no violence there. You went there with an antagonizing energy and you got what you asked for. This person, Danny D. Glover, says, I don't know why these people thought Tennessee State was the university to try. They ran them folks smooth off of campus. They did. So we got to ask this question in a deeper way, y'all. First, the statement is, you're getting the consequences of your actions that you asked for. That's number one. You did that. Okay? It was funny. They made fun of you. Jesse says, I ain't gonna lie. Shit was funny. Cleveland again with a dumb statement. They don't need a permit. They were on public grounds. The cops bent the knee for the students because they were snatching signs and getting pissy. They do need a permit. Turning Point USA applies for permits to do these at campuses. Y'all think because these are universities and state universities are in cities, you think that there's no jurisdiction over the privately owned land. And that's why you got a job working for somebody, because you don't fucking read enough. Stop talking with your dumb ass. You're wrong. Okay? We are not going to get anywhere close to a general consensus in a world where it leads to more freedom. I disagree with you there, Emmanuel. I disagree. I am saying the reason why this is happening, I am not okaying leftist weirdos. I am not okaying. I'm actually saying the opposite. These young people are stupid. You know what I mean? They're stupid. They're dumb. And I had this position earlier. When I first heard about this morning, I said, them kids is dumb and they probably attacked them just for wearing MAGA hats. I said that. Then I seen the photo. The photo was the whole, immigrants, DEI. Okay, and we'll see what this person says. I agree with this 100%. I was fooled this morning by the videos, but after seeing this photo later, it all became clear. You didn't schedule with the school, no tent, not dressed nice, nothing. And handwritten signs like this got what came to them, in my opinion. That's what happened. This is what happens. This is gay. This is gay. Y'all are playing like gay. All of these other stalls, all of this other information, all of this other option. You can literally do anything, but you're going all the way. And I don't know if these kids were for Turning Point. I just think that this meme is funny. I don't know if these two gentlemen that got clowned today, I don't know if they're from Turning Point. I want to be clear. But this is that energy. Y'all go all the way over to Tennessee State, stand right next to them while they ain't even thinking about you. Why you got to keep going to spaces where nobody's fucking thinking about you? Did you go to a Jewish community and put up or college and put up a sign saying, whatever? No, you didn't. You didn't. But this is what y'all do. You're going all the way. You must debate me now. It's not even a debate. It's arguing back and forth. Gay. So this guy who just finished playing the victim, this guy right here is one of the people that was one of those two guys. So you went there antagonizing in a provocation energy. You got the energy that you wanted. You got what you bought. You got what you paid for. Now he's playing the victim even more so, saying median income for Tennessee State University graduates 6 years post-graduation is 34 grand. What the fuck? Now this is proving the point. You're going into a space, you made fun of people, they pushed back. Now you're getting on the internet playing victim while still being antagonizing. What does this have to do with what happened to you on the actual campus? Nothing. But you're up here playing the victim. Playing the victim. Then this is the other guy from the group. Not a single arrest today after the race riot that erupted against us at TSEDU during our Fearless Debates tour. Police were extremely outnumbered. Thanks for keeping us safe, boys. That was their focus. Also, major thanks to All Spec Security for protecting us. You bitch ass antagonizing marshmallow worm. You got an argument and the energy and the clicks from the internet that you wanted. Now you jumping on the internet talking about it was a race riot. At what point did the pundits, so many of them on the right, start emulating the same tactics of the people on the left? Now they saying it was a race riot. Everything is racism. Not you just went there as a goofball and got goofball energy back from other clowns. Now it's a race riot. It's a race riot. This is why we can't take these periods serious. Okay? But I want to talk about the mindsets of college students and why they may be averse to that type of setting. Okay? I want to talk about this real quick because I think it's very important. I think that people like this, these two guys here, whatever the tour is or whatever, okay? I think that these people know what I'm about to say about college students. And I think most of the followers or people in the chat tonight will understand this about left-leaning, especially underclassmen, underclass women, freshmen and, sophomores. This is the mentality of these students. And let me say this. The people that know this, that go there specifically to antagonize them, are equally as retarded. Okay? Equally as retarded. These college students have been fed a steady diet of dumbness. They have 12 years of indoctrination by leftist propaganda. I want to be very clear. They've told them in the schools because the conservatives have not been involved in all of the schools for decades. So they've left the culture war. They've left politics. They've left local involvement up to leftists for 50, 60 years. And so the leftists have controlled your children's minds in the re-education camps, indoctrination sites known as public schools. And then they get to college at 18, 19, and it's a higher level of learning of dumb stuff. You're just paying for it now. Okay? So they've been propagandized. You show up to antagonize. And after the antagonization happens, if that's a word, then you get a defensive response. And I contend, and why do I contend this? I contend this statement of you can get those college students to go, and I get them to go to the right of center all the time. All the time. I did an entire college university tour throughout the state of California a few years back. Leftist colleges. I got no argument. I got no pushback. We had civil disagreements. Hell, we've had civil disagreements in my gun class as recently as in Cleveland in a few months ago. What do? Do I antagonize the anti-gun people that showed up? No, because they're Americans. You showed up to a group of people that literally have been conditioned to be in opposition to you. You act like you're doing to spread the gospel of conservative values. You're lying. You're going there to inadvertently or directly be offensive but cowardly when that's not what America needs. This doesn't mean you have to pander to leftists, but these college students that have had damn near 2 decades of propaganda. You don't lead in with anything that has anything to do with anything. And now, after that, you play victim. But why don't I have this problem with college students in leftist campuses? I live in Philadelphia. It is 70% Democrat. Black people, leftist people of all backgrounds, white, black, and everything in between, support our work. Why is that? How was I able to turn so many anti-gun people, even in colleges, to pro-gun people? For the reason that a lot of people don't really understand. They want, or they do understand, they just don't want to do the discipline because they're not actually trying to unify and present solutions. They go to this place to attack further other Americans. I never go to a place to attack other Americans. I know how powerful the matrix is and leftist propaganda is, so I go into that scenario going, let me use tactics to get my overall goal accomplished. If you guys go and type in Jubilee, Maj Toure, anti-gunners versus pro-gunners, watch my clips on there. When I was sitting down and talking to anti-gun college students, some of which were involved in a mass shooting, a well-known mass shooting on their college campus. Okay? One of the first things that I said to them was, hey, listen, if you don't want to have a gun, I respect your right to not have a gun. And I don't want anybody, including me, in this conversation today to try to talk you out of your right to say, I just don't want one. Period. And then I said, if I came to your house, I have friends that I've known for years. If I know that they're anti-gun, and mind you, these are college students that I was talking to. If my anti-gun friends that I've known for 15 years don't like firearms, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to bring a firearm into their house because it's their house. And I might make a joke about it. Y'all can Google what I'm saying. I'm repeating to y'all verbatim what I said. I said, I might make a joke about it like, hey, man, if somebody kills me in your house, I'm going to kill you. And that tactic softened up those anti-gun college students so they could understand that I respect them as humans. That is a tactic. The question becomes, what are y'all actually trying to do? What does success look like? Fight. Is success to you getting on camera and yelling at people? What is or the standard that we're calling productive? Because if we're talking about politics or changing hearts and minds in a demographic, I want to change people that have a differing perspective, a less robust, less informed perspective than I have. I want to inform them to do that, which means I have to educate, not agitate. So if your definition of success, if you think that Charlie Kirk was a success because he agitated people, okay, that's not success to me. If you're talking about legislation and political wins, Turning Point USA is headquartered and has been headquartered in Arizona for 2 election cycles on a federal level. Arizona is consistently going blue. Meanwhile, if we're talking about political wins, because that's what Turning Point is actually, a supposedly voter registration political organization. It seems to me that Scott Presler has had no problem converting people. He damn near handed Donald Trump the presidential seat with his work in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, what did he do? He converted people from blue to red. He changed their voter registration, and Pennsylvania won. Pennsylvania was a swing state. So what are we talking about as it relates to wins? What's a win to y'all? Going somewhere and yelling at somebody? Is it popularity? Is it legislation? Is it repealing unconstitutional legislation? Scott Presler been a one-man show. Where's his support from the GOP? How can Turning Point have a $75 million budget, taking money from big donors, and Scott Presler has not had one iota of that actual budget? He's done it. He slept in his car. He packed his own food. He talked to people in gas stations, at bars, at coffee shops. He did the actual work and flipped countless counties in the state of Pennsylvania from blue to red. Not no one person, black, white, or in between, can say Scott Pressler has been using agitative tactics and he has a success for his work. Tell me exactly how that makes sense. I just showed y'all what we did at BGM. We don't antagonize people. And I'm going to show y'all a video of a time when I fell into that argument and I still was able to get it done. But we got Jupiter 1000 that just tapped in. Jupiter, I'm going to add you to the stage. What you got for us, Jupiter?
Now, I'm just kept coming in on the tail end, so I just saw your thing. I'm just getting in the house. So I saw, first off, I'm pro 2A. I think it should be constitutional carry, so we'll start right there.
No doubt.
So I saw the video with TSU. Now, I love Charlie Kirk, and I mean, I agree with Charlie Kirk about 80% of the times. That the other 20%, it was iffy. But with those kids at the campus and people in the comments get mad, they had a right to be there to open up the dialogue and debate. Those kids right there at the university, and I think you allude to it, they had 20 years or whatever indoctrination. So by the time those kids came on from an opposite point of view, of course they're going to be met with, hostility and lack of decorum. And TSU is a publicly, I guess it's a public HBCU where it gets federal funding, state funding, whatever it is. But in order to reach have that bridge, the black community is going to have to communicate on a two-way street, and that's just my perspective, man.
So let me say this: I would normally agree with you, Jupiter. I'm telling you, they didn't go there for a good faith civil discussion.
How else were they supposed to do it?
First, even if you say something, first, here's the first part. Where you're going to talk about DEI in the first place, why you coming? That's like somebody coming up to me, arguing with me about, mad at me because of what NFL players do, or how so many police officers are convicted of domestic violence. That don't have shit to do with me. I'm not the go talk to the police union. I'm not the Why are you telling me, like, holding me accountable as if I speak for police officers that were convicted of beating their wives or husbands? I'm not the person you should even be talking to in the first place. So when you come in with that, when we're talking about data, DEI, which is a conversation that been done, Target, all of these big companies, after 2023, maybe 24, they all pulled back on that DEI bullshit, ESG bullshit. Yeah. So you're now just saying it as a talking point, and then no, the big corporations aren't even doing it now. They saw it was a massive failure. So outside of that, now you're coming to talk to me about it, and I don't have shit to do with it. What are you here talking to me about it for?
Okay, set up the topic. Then remind you, it was a public. It's a HBCUs and is a state public university. So no matter how, maybe their approach was a little bit different, but it's no different how Charlie Kirk did it. You just open the format, So I mean, I think with DEI, it didn't benefit FBAs at all, or nobody at the same. So how was they supposed to do it? I mean,
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
If their position was, we're coming to talk about DEI. Now, they're rule followers. I'm not a rule follower, so I don't want nobody to get it twisted. I'm talking about tactics and how the rule followers should have done it. First, you get a permit, but you didn't. Because you a rule follower. You a obeyer. You didn't obey the rule. So you're wrong from the gate. And these are the same people that say the same shit to other people. I'll give you a perfect, before I even move on, and I'm going to give you a few more breakdowns, right? First, let's go back to, you got to remember what the media has told them about MAGA conservatives. And if you don't understand that, and you come in, or you do understand that, and you come in hot, you're being antagonizing. Never mind the fact that just last week, HBCUs got death threats on them. Last week. That's like me going to a white university, like where Charlie Kirk was murdered, and yelling, acting like I want to shoot somebody. It's bad form, it's dumb timing, and you're either stupid or deliberately being inflammatory. So the first thing is they didn't follow the rules. Second is they ain't reading the damn room.
You know, I mean, now if it was me, I really don't care about. Well, depending on the situation, on how to read the room. Me, I'm just gonna come. I'm just gonna show up. Like, okay, maybe
And,
they should.
and you could do that.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should have had a permit. But like I said, it's a public venue. So now let's say if they do change up the course of action, they do get a permit and get all the right credentials and all that other stuff. If they're still met with that same hostility at like they had today, then that sets precedence right there. Okay, well, dang, I'm opening up the dialogue with you, but you're being hostile. So perception is always the
freedom.
narrative, right?
You listen. This is where we on the right are.
Let me play with this one.
Cool.
It would be no different if Malcolm X, Malcolm X and other prominent figures who spoke at PWIs. Imagine if they had the same hostility. So two wrongs don't make a right at the same token. So you got to give that decorum respect. And now I'll lay my plan with that.
So I'll say this. This entire time I've said the left, I looked at what the left did, the goofy children. I'm going to call them children. This entire time I said, I'm not down with this. I'm not down with that. I think the overall concept.
I didn't hear it.
You tapped in a little later. Let me double down for people that might have tapped in a little bit later. I think overall the concept of how the college students acted was stupid. I think a lot of young people are morons. I want to be very clear. We are not, again, we got 12 years of massive levels of propaganda. If they got to college, they finished high school, which means you got 12 years generally of indoctrination, which has probably made you stupid.
And you got to think the parents too. And
the parents, everything involved, everybody involved. But now we're here. We got a bunch of liberal arts degrees people, okay? They don't work out. They don't study civics. They don't study anything, really, other than they went through a school that literally has a no child left behind policy. So if I, as a gun owner, say, I should be able to go every single place that I want, regardless of if there's stupid people in there, right? I technically am right. But I, as a responsible, intelligent gun owner that's not trying to antagonize people, if a place looks like I should need a gun there, I'm not going there. Not because it's an impediment to my freedom. I get to do, no. It's, I do not want to put holes in somebody because they wanted to play themselves. But let's go with that logic and apply it back to this. If I know that I'm in a space where for the entire time, media, the schools, Hollywood has indoctrinated this group of people. If I do want to have that, because I think that's a fair question. If they get the permits and they follow the rules, and I'm not a permit person, but it's not my property. It's not mine. It's that college's.
If you're a taxpayer, it's your property.
But not really if you're doing a protest. It's not. But you, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it seem like I'm capping for the state, or I'm saying I think we're over licensed, overfeed, all of that. So I want to be clear on that. But we're talking about people that act like they want to follow the rules. But they conveniently forget when to follow the rules or when not to. And then when someone holds them to the standard that they say they're about, now it's, but we shouldn't have to do that. Yeah, but you're a rule follower. I shouldn't have to check a firearm or file for any type of license to carry a firearm based on the actual Second Amendment.
Exactly. That me and you agree with that. I think, like I said, constitutional carrying.
So if I get arrested, which I did, and am fighting a case up to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, me right now, because I live that, I'm right, but I got to fight to get to that point. My point in saying this is because I want to come back to your answer, to answer your question. Let's say they get all of the permits. Let's say they want to have a genuine dialogue. If you want to have a genuine dialogue and you're aware that this space is full of people that have been conditioned to be very closed-minded. If that's the case, I don't come in with antagonizing approaches. I just gave you wasn't here when I said this on the show. I just gave my example of how I engaged with anti-gun people on a Jubilee episode. I know that they have been conditioned to believe we're talking about tactics. The question is, do y'all want to be right or do you want to fucking win? I want to win. Y'all want to be like, yeah, I showed, not you personally, but yeah, I showed them. That's not how you get wins. Scott Pressler gets a win in a swing state and damn near hands the Trump administration a win because of his respectful, tactful, strategic, legislative work.
Let me say this. I'll put it to you like this. Well, to any anti-gun person, you have to know your delivery, know how to strategically. You have to know those strategic weapons of words to say. I always say to one of those anti-gun owners, there's two questions I'll ask them. Let's say, besides our biggest advantage, but besides the ocean, why would a country not want to step foot on the U.S. soil?
Right.
And I'll have them answer that question. And as soon as they'll answer that question, I was like, well, we have a lot of
guns.
Oh, then we'll do a follow-up. Why didn't the Japanese not want to step on the mainland soil? Oh,
because there's an American with a gun behind every blade of grass.
And then I'll leave it. And this is my last point. Every turn of events of every revolution, what's the first thing that happened? I'm a U.S. Army GY vet, so the first thing we did when we got into Iraq, what did we do? We took away everyone's guns. When the Taliban came in enough power in Afghanistan, they took everyone's guns because they knew the precursor to a revolution, besides the hearts and minds and the movement, it's at the end of it comes the pew pew. So that right there, those three deliveries right there. That's how you would disable a person.
So Jupiter, you're in essence arguing my position.
Yeah,
that same level of intelligent approach. Appreciate you for tapping in, Jupiter. That same level of intelligent approach to neutralizing your political opponent or the ideas that have festered in the minds of these Americans that have been propagandized. You apply that same level of tactics and approach. It's the same as if I don't just walk up. Okay, duh. Every attractive woman that I would potentially talk to knows he definitely wants to have sex with me at the end of this thing. They all know that. You don't just say, hey, girl, what type of person? Imagine if I walked up to her and said, I'm going to conquer you. Imagine if I said that. Now, some more beautiful and smart women may agree with that, but most women will be like, what? Even if they like that concept, you have to approach that differently. That's it. So if you're approaching it wrong, you're either stupid to tactics and strategy, or you know that it's wrong because you're not doing it to actually create a union. See, the problem on the right, Protocol, I'm gonna add you to the stage real quick. The problem on the right is we are smart, okay? We are smart. And I'll say it this way. We are right. The problem is we are not applying tactics to showcase how we're right. This I want to own the libs conversation will be your undoing. Why is that going to be your undoing? We're going to rock out a little bit longer tonight, y'all, because I got some stuff. If y'all riding with me, I'm going to ride with y'all tonight, okay? Let me be very clear. As we're doing this goofy shit, Moms Demand Action and Everytown for Gun Safety are rebranding as a firearms safety organization. I did a video on it. The anti-gun organization is figuring out how to do a better tactic. They're going, you know what? We're going to start offering firearms classes to people. Why? Because Black Guns Matter has went into all of these leftist cities and made a big impact in the pro-gun space and took a lot of our thunder. So they made a CEO. The CEO is a Black woman with locks that looks trustworthy. Why? Because they want to say, yeah, we're not anti-gun. We're not anti-Second Amendment. Look, we're not racist. We got black women, we got this, and we teach firearm safety. That is a smart tactic. Meanwhile, Jasmine Crockett is talking about how pro-gun she is. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom gets on damn Sean Ryan's show and says he's pro-gun, and Sean Ryan literally gifts him a Sig Sauer. The left is rebranding to prepare for 2028. Meanwhile, we talking about, oh, I went to a HBCU and was antagonizing, but let's defend those dudes. Protocol, jump in real quick.
Yeah, man. Peace to the chat, man. Shouts out to all the solutionaries, man. Them niggas is goofy. That's the best way I can put it, man. Them niggas all across the board. You know, first of all, just like I say, bro, I go to Savannah State, which is my local HBCU, all the time. 9 times out of 10, I got my MAGA hat on. Everybody knows.
Now Protocol, you happen to be melanated, correct?
Yeah, man. All day long, all day strong.
Okay.
Got locks going down my back and everything with the full beard. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Trump with the baby mamas and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nigga. Okay? I'm a nigga. But people know this. People know that I help my community. I help my community more than some of these quote unquote Black Lives Matter activists. You know what I mean? Like getting laws passed, working with Democrats. I work with my brother's a fucking Democrat House of Representative member in the state of Georgia, bro, on his legislative council. Like niggas know me and they look at him and be like, how you a Democrat and your brother's a Republican? Because that shit don't matter. It's about the people.
Right.
So I get my respect. I've been flying my MAGA flag every fucking homecoming since 2019, maybe. And I've gotten a few looks. I've had a few people say some stuff, and I just sit on like, look, bro, if you emotional, you emotional. But I feel like the greatest thing that has ever happened to this country is the black man, and we down bad, bro.
So what do you think is the reason why, when you wearing your MAGA hat, locks, beard, why aren't you getting this type of response that these guys got at this college, at this HBCU?
Because they ain't connected, bro. They not connected. They know, like Savannah State. They know, oh, that's Protocol. Protocol used to DJ the sports. And if the new kids don't know, there's an OG that sees me and they see me talking to them, and they're fucking, okay, who the fuck is this dude? Because this nigga got on a MAGA hat, but this teacher that I love, or this staff member that I love, is treating this nigga like fucking royalty. What the fuck is going on?
So do you think it's a connected issue, or do you think you carry yourself with respect and they could have carried themselves with more respect?
I think it's both. I think it's a connection issue, and I think that they could have carried themselves with more respect. That whole, if they would have left that whole DEI shit out of the way, and it would have been only a sign about immigrants, and the other side said, hey, Trump just, for the second time in history gave y'all the most money that HBCUs have ever had. Prove me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I think the conversation could have went different. But then again, they went with the red MAGA hat on the white boy, right? So when they see the red MAGA hat on the white boy, they automatically triggered. You know what I'm saying? When they see me in my MAGA hat, it's a visor. So my locks is sticking out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's completely different. It's completely swagged out other than what they see. So they're, again, another situation of disarmament of, damn, how this nigga got the visor with the locks. What is going on? And then they talk to me and they're like, oh, this is nigga. Like, hold up, wait a minute. And then we just have the conversation. And the conversation don't always end well. You know what I'm saying? More times than not, it does. But you got some people who just been indoctrinated. And that's okay. When they grow up, they will learn, but they are still kids. At the end of the day, they are still kids, just getting out from under their mama, got a refund check, and all the drugs and booty that they can have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, I've been there. I was a student at Savannah State. I was a student at Albany State. I've been there. But to be able to disarm them right? So during homecoming, and I put the video up on my page earlier because I was messing with Hotep Jesus. Shouts out to Hotep Jesus. I fly my "Don't Blame Me, I Voted for Trump" flag, and I fly my African liberation flag, right? So when they see the "Don't Blame Me, I Voted for Trump" next to the red, black, and green, now these niggas is like, hold up. The fuck is going on here now? Now I'm confused. So
it's hard to quantify in their mind. They can't box you in.
They can't box me in. So then they come have the conversation. And then I explain it to them like, listen, I don't agree with all the white nationalist bullshit, but that ain't even my focus. Like, I'm pretty sure you don't agree with all the dick chopping off of kids or all the, the faggotry that's going on around it. But that's still your party. So in the same sense, I don't agree with all the white nationalism bullshit that I hear from people, but I do agree with the funding for HBCUs. I do agree with, hey, we got school choice and we've been saying we need to take our kids out these punk ass school systems. Now we got somebody who's given us the ability to put the money that we invest in the system into our own schools. Yes, I'm for that. We got somebody who's fighting for trade with Africa and then created Prosper Africa. And then, with this HBCU initiative that can be partnered with Prosper Africa during the same time that we got the right to abode in Ghana. I'm in a fucking port city, nigga. That's all up my alley, nigga. Like, yes, let me get that. So, what I'm saying? I'm looking at this shit like the Barney bag, nigga. I got some odds and strings, nigga. I'm gonna put some shit together and make some shit happen. Like, fuck all the crying, nigga. We got an opportunity to make some shit happen, and I'm gonna do it. And he getting attacked by the same people that attacked our leaders. This cracker must not be too far off. Now, again, we're in the second term now, and this shit is highly different. I was like you. I thought this was finna be the revenge tour, nigga. I was ready. I was ready. And now this nigga done let me down. This motherfucker done let me down. But, I still take his letdown over Kamala Harris any day of the week.
Hey, I 100% agree with that. I appreciate your protocol, my brother.
Already got, man. Y'all stay blessed up, man. And I catch y'all on the interwebs, man. Peace.
Absolutely. Peace. See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. A nuanced argument, and I bet you him, and I know some of y'all gonna say, well, it will be different for him because he's black. No, that might play a part. I'll give you a little bit of that, but it's your approach. It's your approach. Let's reverse it. Why was Maj so well received at CPAC? Why is Maj so well received in white pro-gun spaces? It's because I didn't come in there with a fucking Draco talking about X, Y, and Z. No, I came in there, safe and responsible firearms owner, talking about the Second Amendment, while still being 100% who Maj is. Okay? I didn't go into any space attempting to antagonize at all. It doesn't make sense to do.
That's happening in the United States.
Now, look, this is what I want to show y'all real quick. And then we're going to start wrapping up. But listen, we're talking about rebrands. We're talking about tactics. We're talking about, it seems, and y'all can tell me in the comment section if y'all look at it differently. It seems like the right, because the left is being quiet right now, they're not putting their foot in their mouth as much, simply meaning the left, simply because their mouth is closed. I think as soon as they open their mouth again, foot, shoes, all gonna go right back in there. But right now, the right is getting cocky because they got their guy in. They're not paying attention to the fact that Trump is legit 180'd on Ukraine, 180'd on Israel. He's really kind of like a Mike Pence / warmongering type of energy right now. That's just the reality. His first term, no new wars. Now, we're going to war. You're supporting the destruction of Palestine. It's just all over the place. And we got to be able to call a spade a spade. Saying this to say, while this is happening, I just told you all a few things about what the left and the anti-gunners are doing. Look at this slick thing right here. Because, this morning, a sniper allegedly shot up an ICE facility, right? But let's listen to what Gavin Newsom has to say. Listen to his rhetoric.
That's happening in the United States of America. Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability, happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country.
This dude is dangerous because he's a sociopath and he's tactful. He has literally just said he has called the federal government that he's one of the front runners to run for the president of the United States. I'm not mad at what he called it, but I'm concerned of why he's doing it, okay? He's not doing it because he really believes that the federal government is authoritarian. He's tactfully saying the federal government is authoritarian and it's impacting black and brown people. That's what he's saying on late night television on a main ABC network. This is a tactical clinic. Let's run it back. He's literally saying authoritarianism. They're using libertarian words to call out the federal government, not because they really believe it, but they're going to galvanize people for a while to make them think that they believe it so when they can get into office. Listen to what he just said. He's handsome. He's not that, he's sharp. He ain't Kamala Harris. He's handsome. He's well put together. Look at his hand signals. He knows how to misdirect. Sidebar. A really, really good check to see if somebody is not trustworthy is if they do a lot of hand signals when they talk. Okay? Overwhelming. I don't mean just a few gestures. Watch his hands. These are marks and traits of when you start looking into phrenology and micro expressions and public speaking. This dude is a dangerous person because he is tactical. He's using tactics. Okay? Let's play it back.
No oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic.
He did a little cuss word. He did a little pause so people could clap. This dude knows media.
If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country. And so I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first bill to address the issue of masking, also to require you have simple identification, to your point. I mean, if some guy jumped out.
Now, he's talking about legislation. He went from culture. He galvanized the talking points. He went from culture. Then he went into legislation. This is what the right isn't doing. They aren't being tactful. They aren't galvanizing culture with good tactics and then lead them into legislation, i.e. politics. Politics is downstream from culture. He just literally, in 36 seconds, went from this is bad, the Trump administration is doing this, the federal government is authoritarian, and it's not okay. He gave the black and brown people a shout out because that's most of his constituents in fucking California, and he ties it into legislation. I am proud to be one of the first governors that'll sign legislation that makes it where ICE people can't be having masks on. Okay? Politics is downstream from culture, but you won't even get to a cultural conversation to galvanize the community that you need to get a political win because your tactics are horrible. Because you jumping up, setting up a table like you selling hot dogs at a barbecue at an HBCU to talk to them about some shit that don't got nothing to do with them just for clicks. It's stupid.
Out of an unmarked car in a van with a mask on tried to grab me. I mean, by definition, you're going to push back. And so these are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government. You saw what Stephen Miller said last week. This should put chills up spine. Called the Democratic Party an extremist organization, basically a terrorist organization, saying he's going after his enemies. You saw the tweet that Donald Trump sent out, Truth Social, basically telling Pam Bondi, I want these 3 people taken out. That's happening in the United States.
I'm telling y'all, I ain't scared of nothing. I am tactful. I was more nervous. I thought we had I thought he was going to be the person for 24. But they went with Kamala. And I was like, okay, maybe he just doesn't have an interest. California is the 6th largest economy in the world. Maybe he just doesn't, he's a king over there. He's a king. He's got wineries. He's a king. He's damn near untouchable, especially with Republicans running goofballs like Larry Elder in the Republican space instead of getting behind a beautiful candidate that they had in Major Williams. And for full disclosure, Major Williams is a friend of mine. But the Republicans got behind fucking Larry Elder, who could do nothing. So I was low-key like, maybe he just want to stay in Cali. I am more concerned about Gavin Newsom in 2028 than anybody. And look at how he's rebranding. It's smart. He's well-spoken. He's sharp. And he got 3 more years, let's say 2.5, to really, really sharpen this message, and they already starting the propaganda machine. Meanwhile, your side and your pundits and your politicians are saying, yeah, they're backing people just saying dumb stuff. This does not make sense. I could give it to you all day, Paul. This is what, and I don't even like this dude right here. I don't like this dude. He's a clown. But even his a broke clock is right twice a day. Listen to what Charleston White says. Now, he's talking more specifically about Charlie Kirk, because they compare it. Oh, you kind of like Charlie Kirk, because y'all be kind of like getting da-da-da-da-da. And this is he brings out a point that I think is very important that some of you people on the right should think about. Listen to this.
Problem with people saying Kirk is like me. He ain't stood up to the white supremacists. He ain't stood up to the skinhead. I've been standing up to the negative elements and the detriment of black people. He ain't looked to white people and said, hey, we got a bunch of white kids shooting up schools. Say we got a bunch of white kids and they babies. We lead the nation in child pedophilia and molestation of children. Hey, man, we need that Epstein list out. They say the president's name is on that list. He ain't doing that to his people. He was a talking point who spread a lot of misinformation, almost the borderline of lying. The statistics that he was using was false. Black people don't commit 50% of the murders in this country. We commit 50% of black murders, which is a small fraction compared to the Mexicans, the whites, the immigrants. So and then, homie, he challenging children. I'm challenging adults. So we are not the same. He wasn't putting his life on the line because he was talking just about black people. He never talked about nobody else as if black people are America's problem. So that's my problem with that shit. Hell, he ain't know me. I stand up to the gangbangers, the killers. I pick on the bullies of the race. He pick on the weakest of the race, the small, undeveloped brains of our children on the college level.
There's no argument against that. And this is what I'm saying to you. And I'm not talking about same thing, super weapons. I never thought I'd agree with Charleston White. I went back and forth with him. He's a clown. He's a clown, generally. But a broke clock, right twice a day. And this is what I'm telling y'all. This theory that it's good for civil discourse because we're going and arguing, talking about black people, or even talking about DEI as if we're associated with it. Okay? It's like, come on, what are you doing? How is this a win? What came out of it? Like, what are we doing? You didn't go anywhere and provide legislation. Turning Point, and hop off a Turning Point for 1 second. Okay? What I'm really saying to y'all is the approach that we on the right, if we want to win, your tactics have to change. I own the left. I did this. The blacks are this, that, and the third. And outside of the fact that the stats been debunked, only morons go with the 13% of the population do 50% of the crime. That is a false narrative. That been debunked. Stupid people still say that. So with that being the case, if this is your talking point, because it's easy to rile up the Republican base by saying negative things about certain types of people. If that's your approach, you're going to continue to lose. You're going to continue to lose. And especially after Trump is out of office. Trump, y'all winning. We are winning on certain levels with the Trump thing because Trump has 40 years of a brand built before he decided to run for president. And a whole lot of people from black communities, hip hop culture, They already like Trump. There's so many songs. Guess who's the black Trump? I'm at the Trump International. Ask for me. So he already had a built-in base, but what he was doing before media tried to attack him and say, oh, he's racist, right? There are no other politicians on a national level that got that level of swag that the Republicans can hang their hat on. So you better start developing liaisons and getting some people from the right, take advantage of this, some people that's somewhat moderate in leftist cities and get them onto your side. But if you highlighting these dumbass, goofy, debunked, flat out wrong talking points, and you think that's how you win the culture war, a culture war that does not turn into political wins, you also are a moron. It's just not tactical. It just doesn't win. And I don't want moral victories. My moral victories come with my everyday doing the right thing, keeping my mind right. That's what it is. All of that other shit, no. I want actual victories. So I just gave y'all a whole extra 30 minutes. Boom. They should have done what Turning Point does, which is schedule the event in advance with proper security in place, rather than just showing up with MAGA hats on. They look like TikTok content farmers out there, and they do. And that's what they were, and that's what they are. Guys, if you want to actually win, you have to start thinking more strategically. You have to start getting grassroots work in areas, boots on the ground. Why am I telling you this? Because it's what I did for the last 8 years with Black Guns Matter. We got millions of anti-gun, pro-gun people, people from blue cities, leftist cities, to start being pro-gun. If I get you on a pro-gun argument, I'm going to start getting you on a Constitution argument. One of the, like, that's like part and parcel. But I did that by having a sound tactic to make people do things and question the narrative that they were told. They understood me as a fellow American. I didn't show up there yelling at people to like somehow that's going to make them want to be my friend or get the desired outcome. Okay? We have to be more intelligent with our tactics. This does not mean we're supposed to pander to the left. This means we at least treat each other with a certain level of respect from the gate in our talking points. You keep highlighting people that are just, it's cheap to just talk about black people because these people won't do the same thing in certain demographics, and it is what it is. So we're not there to fake debate. These aren't even debates. These are trolls running into spaces, and now when you get troll energy in return, you turn into the weak ass person that you actually are because no one respects your trolling. Okay? He does. Rob just said he reminds me of Bill and Obama, his hand gestures and his speaking. And then look at the people that you compared him to. Some of the most suave, charismatic, smooth, deceptive politicians in American history. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. If we don't get better tactics, man, the Democrats you're going to lose seats. You're already going to lose seats because some Republicans are like, I don't like what the Republicans are doing. You're going to lose certain seats. Y'all can try to redistrict all you want, just like the Democrats did. But a bigger net positive would be how you outreach and who you platform and who you champion when you can get these folks that we say all the time, well, black people traditionally have been conservative. Then what happened? You started falling off on the tactics. Get better. Anyway, guys. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Support the work. Appreciate you all for tapping in with me tonight. I'm going to ask you all to do two things. One, it's free. Repost the space. Repost it all over the place. That's number one. Two, support our work if you got some value from the conversation tonight. If you got a little laugh because I was able to make Cleveland look like an absolute fucking moron. If you got a laugh from that, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you got some sharpening of your talking points, support the work. Grab a shirt, blackgunsmatter.shop, whichever way you want to do it. Okay? But we have to remember the work is the most important thing. We do firearms basics, conflict resolution, de-escalation, community work. We got a community center. We're 37 days away from our goal, from our deadline to hit our goal. We need everybody's support. There's 434 of you watching right now. Imagine if 434 of you gave $100. Imagine that. Imagine that. Transformative information because of Solutionary University that you get for paying it forward for others. We need more women to have firearms basics. If you are a woman that wants to take a course and you can't afford it, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. You guys see my X page, Maj2Ray999. Follow me there, shoot me some DMs and all that other good stuff. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Same place, same channel, youtube.com/Maj2Ray. I need every single person to go over to givesendgo.com/solutionary. If you're watching on X, it's my pinned post. If you're watching on YouTube or everywhere else, it's that ticker running right across the screen right now. Support the work. Don't do it later. Do it now. Support, support, support. We can't complain about the system if we're not supporting solutions. Thanks, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 p.m. givesendgo.com/solutionary. Be safe. Be solutionary.